Week number 6 of the 2025-26 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back NBA Week in Review. I'm Jose Salviati, editor at thepeakbasket.net, and this is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come. We start like we always do with the only objective overall top 10 NBA power rankings anywhere. You can read more about how we get to these rankings and see the entire list at thepeachbasket.net. Let's take a look at the top 10 at the conclusion of week number 6. Starting with number 10, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They cracked the top 10 this season the first time this season, after a 2-1 week. In week number 6, they end the week at 12-8 overall. Another new team coming in at number 9 are the 12-6 overall New York Knicks. They had a very good, perfect, in fact, 3-0 week in week number 6 to take the number 9 spot. The San Antonio Spurs hold firm at number 8. They're 13-5 overall, 2-1 in week number 6, and again come in at number 8. The Denver Nuggets, again, stay right above the Spurs at number 7. They're 14-5 overall, 2-1 in week number 6. The Toronto Raptors have been really good, a surprise, but they suffered a rough loss, 3-1 in week 6, 14-6 overall. That cost them. They drop from number 4 to number 6 in week number 6. The Los Angeles Lakers, another team that looks really good coming out of the gate. They had a perfect week, 3-0 in week number 6. They're 14-4 overall, and they move up one spot from number 6 to number 5. The Miami Heat. This is a team that I didn't expect a lot of this season, but they've been playing very good basketball. Again, never underestimate or count out a well-run team. The Heat certainly are that. They're 13-7 overall. They were 3-1 in week number 6, and that was enough to move them up one spot from number 5 to number 4. The Houston Rockets were a perfect 2-0 in week number 6. They're 12-4 overall, and that's enough to keep them at number 3. Now, the Detroit Pistons have been phenomenal to start the season, but they had a bit of a road bump in week number 6. They were just 2-2, 16-4 overall, but that was enough to cost them. They were the number 1 team last week. They dropped to number 2 this week, which means the number 1 spot after week number 6 belongs to the 19-1 Oklahoma City Thunder. They were a perfect 3-0 in week number 6 and take over the number 1 spot from the Detroit Pistons. That's the objective top 10 list for week number 5. If you want to see where all 30 teams land, again, please visit thepeachbasket.net. Now let's shift our focus from teams to players. These are the best to do it by average in week number 5 of the 2025-26 NBA season. These are the best by average in shooting, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, points, and game score. Let's start with the best overall points guy in the NBA in week number 6, and that was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the number 1 Oklahoma City Thunder. He averaged 38 points over his 3 games played. Now, the top 3-point made snipers were Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell. They each had 3 games in the week, and they both averaged 5 3-point shots made. The best overall field goal maker for week number 6 was Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. He played 3 games and averaged 14.3 made shots in week number 6. Let's move from shooting to rebounding. The top overall rebounder plays his basketball in Phoenix. Mark Williams pulled down 13.7 rebounds on average over his 3 games played to lead everybody. He also led the association in offensive rebounds at 5.7, again over his 3 games played. The defensive rebounder might surprise some of y'all. It's Josh Giddey. He's playing great basketball for the Chicago Bulls. He played 4 games in the week and pulled down just a tick under 10 defensive rebounds at 9.8 to lead everybody. Now let's move to assists. This one always shocks me, but I guess it shouldn't anymore. The top assist man at 10.8 was not a guard, because the NBA has changed, y'all. It was Nikola Jokić. He's been here before multiple times, and I assume he's going to be here a ton before he calls it quits. He's just phenomenal. 4 games played, 10.8 assists to lead everybody. The top rim protector, Robert Williams, still has it. 2 games played, sent back 4 shots on average. Jaylen Brown was the top thief, 2.7 steals on average over his 3 games played. And the top game score, right? The best overall game for week number 6 belongs to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a reputable 34.5 game score. 35.2 game score over his 3 games played. All right, now we look ahead to week number 7. This, again, is a very interesting week. This is when teams start to really show who they are. And we've got some teams that are playing great basketballs. We got some teams that are underachieving. In week number 7, we have the team that's playing the best basketball. That is the Oklahoma City Thunder, our defending champs, and also our number 1 power ranking team this week. And also one of the youngest teams in the association, which just boggles the mind. They head to San Francisco to take on the proud and not so young Golden State Warriors. Be an interesting test to see how the Thunder respond. But these are the defending champs, man. They've had everything thrown at them. I don't think that they care where they play or who they play. They're just there to win basketball games. But I think it will be a very interesting game to see how the Thunder react and how the Warriors play against this very potent Thunder team. Now, we'll end our show with a segment we like to call Full Court Press, where I ask AI for its thoughts on viral, trendy NBA news as we head into week number 7. And this is what it came up with this week. First off, LeBron is out due to a foot injury. What does that mean for the Lakers, who've been playing very good basketball? And they've got 3 studs, right? LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. There's a rumor that Giannis might be interested, and certainly the Lakers are, in coming and playing in LA. This is always the time when we start to hear these rumors. Most of them don't pan out, but that's bubbling right now. The other thing that AI contemplated as a viral, trendy NBA news to consider is that the 19-1 Thunder are scary good with no end in sight. And as interesting as the Lakers are and Giannis to the Lakers is as a rumor, I want to focus on the Oklahoma City Thunder because we're seeing something that I can't remember seeing in the time that I've been following the game of basketball. These are the defending NBA champs, and they look to be a level above every other team in the association. The first thing you hear when you win the championship is, man, next season is going to be tough because everyone's coming at you. You've got a target on your back. But the Thunder don't care. Making matters worse for every other team in the NBA, there's no end in sight for how good this team can get, or really how good they can stay. What the Thunder have done right is that they weathered some tough seasons, something a lot of teams don't care to do, as they allowed their team to grow and their stars to mature, right? Some teams don't want to do that. Some teams feel like they can't do that, right? Their fan base won't allow it. The Thunder said, we're going to go through some growing pains, but we're going to do it for a reason. We're going to have our team grow. We're going to have our stars mature. And they did all of that while collecting draft picks, like you and I maybe collect socks. It's unbelievable. They are now the defending champions and the 6th youngest team in the NBA. As if that wasn't enough, they stand to, most likely, things could change a little bit with these picks and some of the requirements around them, but they could most likely have 3 first-round draft picks in 2026. You heard that right. 3 first-round draft picks. Now, as crazy as that is in and of itself, they have a chance, because they own the Clippers pick, and the Clippers are really struggling this season, to possibly walk away with the number 1 pick. There's a lot of season left, of course, but there is a chance that the Thunder repeat. Then they're rewarded with the number 1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. Scary. I know. And unprecedented. Unbelievable. Every team tries to replicate what last season's winner does. That's what we've always seen in the NBA. It happens every year. This difference, though, is that everyone knows how the Thunder got here, but no team wants to suffer through multiple losing seasons to get to where the Thunder are today. They know how they got there. They just don't want to do it. NBA franchises are like toddlers with no patience. They don't want to wait for their toy or for their turn to play. They want the LOB now. OKC was content to let other teams, OKC now is content to let other teams trade players to improve while they just stay the course. Young, coached, run, and defending champs with reinforcements coming. It could be a long run for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's it. Week number 6 of the 2025-26 NBA season is in the books. Join us again next week after week number 7 of the 2025-26 NBA season when we once again run it back.